I love the sound of that bell. It just kind of grounds me and centers me. And I hope it did the same for you. I hope you heard it out there, wherever you are. I want to say welcome. What a week we've had. Already we've had so many tumultuous things happening in our lives, and it just seems to continue. So it's good that we can have a time when we can come together and center ourselves as a community. So there you are out there in your homes watching this service. Maybe a few of you are together, but mostly you're alone. And I just want you to be aware that as you are watching this service, you are not alone. There are many members of this congregation who are also out there watching this service. More will tune in later. And even as you are thinking about that, aware of all those others who are watching the service this morning, I want you to be aware of something. I want you to be aware, and this might be hard for you to wrap your mind around, but for some of you, but you are a valued member of this community. Whether you're joining us for the first or the 1,000th or 10,000th time, I just want you to know that you are welcome. You deserve to feel included. I'm glad you're here. This is the first Sunday of October. We made it to October, so that's good news. This is a time when many faith communities across the world observe an animal blessing, and so do we. Centuries ago, Francis of Assisi started this tradition by welcoming animals into his circle of caring and compassion, and we strive to follow this example in our own lives. So take a moment now, take a moment during this welcome to pet or stroke or scratch or rub the belly of your pets if they are close by. Or maybe if you don't have pets close by, look out the window of your home and look at the squirrels gathering nuts or the birds flittering from branch to branch. Let's be aware of as we say, as our seventh principle of Unitarian Universalists, let us be aware of the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, which is to say, we belong, all of us. Welcome.
Our opening hymn this morning is All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. We're going to sing verses 1, 3, and 5. It's number 203 in the gray hymnal. All creatures of the earth and sky, come kindred, lift your voices high. Alleluia, alleluia, bright burning sun with golden beam, soft
As Rick said, our seventh principle calls us to have respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. As we join our voices in saying our affirmation, I invite you to expand your thoughts of community to include those who walk on 4 feet, swim in water, and fly through the skies. Please join me in speaking our affirmation. Love is our doctrine. Compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration, build a community of caring fellowship, nurture the hopes, and serve the needs of our world. Sometimes the smallest flame can spark love. Sometimes light comes from the most unexpected places. Sometimes warmth is spread in ways we never imagined. Here at UUCS, we light 3 chalices. The first is for our members and friends. The second is for our partner church in Šimanfava, Transylvania, Romania. And our final chalice is for our children and youth. Let's sing the flame into life.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Hello, and welcome to the Time for All Ages portion of the service. I'm Lily Walker, Director of Lifespan Religious Education, and today I'm here to tell you a story that helps to remind us that it's not only we, the humans, who bless the animals by taking care of them and helping to make sure that they are safe, but that the animals also bless us in so many ways. This story is called The Bless You Bunnies, A Tale for All Ages by Reverend Laura Kim Joyner. Once upon a time, there was a family of rabbits who lived in a hole in the ground near the edge of Farmer Hernandez's chili pepper field. One day, one of the young bunnies stuck his nose out of the hole for the first time, and a gust of wind blew right into his face, and he sneezed. His parents, who were eating clover nearby, said, "Well, what do you think they said?" That's right. They said, "Bless you," although they may have said salud because they were bilingual bunnies. The bunny asked his parents what bless you means, and they said, "It means we love you and we wish for you to always be safe." The young bunnies liked this so much that whenever someone sneezed or had a bee chase them or got lost and was found, all the baby bunnies would say, "Bless you." They thought this was a great game to do, and it made them feel loved. One day, Farmer Hernandez was out on his tractor plowing under the chilies. He got closer and closer to the young bunnies, and they hunkered down in their hole. But finally, the ground shook so much that they jumped out and ran as fast as they could in all directions, zigging and zagging as bunnies do. One bunny, after stopping, saw that the farmer had a funny look on his face, the kind of look you have when you've been hurt or have been crying. Without thinking, the bunny said, "Bless you." Now, I don't know if the farmer heard that little bunny. I mean, how could he have heard it over the sound of the tractor engine? But a really good bless you can carry an awful long way. Farmer Hernandez got a funny, puzzled look on his face, as if he had heard the bunny, and stopped the tractor. He looked around the field, and then he caught sight of that little bunny. He went over to the bunny, who was very still and quiet and was trying not to be seen, And quickly he threw his hat over the bunny to catch her. And then he reached down and scooped up that little bunny in his hat and held her close to his heart. He leaned his face against the soft bunny fur, and then the farmer started to cry and cry. For the last time that he had touched another creature was when his wife was still alive. Since his wife had died last year, he hadn't spoken to anyone, and no one had come to see him, and no one had held him or given him a hug, and he hadn't held anyone or hugged them either, not until he had picked up this little bunny. Knowing that where there's one bunny, there are many, the farmer walked around the field until he had a hat full of bunnies and found their old rabbit hole and put those baby bunnies back in it. And he waited there, standing guard over the baby bunnies until the parents came back. And while he sat next to those little bunnies, watching their soft little ears flop and their noses twitch, and hearing their soft whispers of, "Bless you," he began to feel less sad and even a little bit happy. After he saw the parent rabbits approaching, Farmer Hernandez got up to leave, and he looked down at all the bunnies before he left and said, "Thank you for blessing my life." As he turned to walk away, the bunny family said to him, "Bless you." And he heard them that day and for all the rest of the days of his life, and he always felt loved. You too are like a bless you bunny. You can go around blessing people and animals, each in your own way, such as thanking them, smiling at them, remembering them, and being with them. And this way, your life is a blessing to them, and you help others feel loved, such as you do by being here with all of us today. Bless you for coming, and bless you always. Please do consider joining us next Sunday, October 11th, for the Children's RE program being held live on Sunday mornings at 9:45 a.m. via Zoom. May all beings be happy. Blessed be.
Thank you, Lily, for that beautiful blessing story. Let's center ourselves and ground ourselves in ourselves that we might be prepared to bless others. Take a breath and be in this moment. Just be in this moment. The great Buddhist master Thich Nhat Hanh has written, "Understanding is love's other name." Understanding is love's other name. Understanding someone's suffering is the best gift you can give another person. Understanding is love's other name. If you don't understand, you can't love. And so let us remember then to walk the path of understanding, always seeking to better understand the thoughts and the feelings, challenges, the heartbreaks of others. Let us not fall prey to seeing others as mere caricatures, objects of mockery or scorn. Let all be blessed. Let all be understood. Let us learn to better understand the animals that we might better realize the fullness of their being. Since ancient times, the Eastern religious traditions have reminded us that the animals are sentient beings, and we are called to treat them with compassion. Think now of the animals in your life, your pets, the animals in your yard, your neighborhood, your community. Think of the animals whose lives are sacrificed for food. How might you better understand the animals and the impact we have upon them? How might we show the animals more compassion? Compassion is our way. And gratitude is our way. I grew up with a Cocker Spaniel, Blondie. This was in the days before leash laws. Everyone knew her in the neighborhood. She was always our companion when my friends and I hiked in the woods. What a great, smart dog she was. And how I wept when she died. We often outlive our pets, and it breaks our hearts. And we weep. And yet be aware that these are not only tears of grief, they're tears of gratitude. And I invite you now to recognize the gratitude you feel for the pets you have had in your life, the pets you have in your life today. Gratitude all the time. Walk that path. It leads to happiness and joy. Amen.
Our pastoral hymn today is "We Celebrate the Web of Life." It's number 175 in the gray hymnal.
We celebrate the web of life, its magnitude we sing, for we can see divinity in every living thing. A fragment of the perfect whole in cactus and in quail, as much in tiny barnacle as in the great blue whale. Of ancient dreams we are the sum, our bones link stone to star, and bind our future worlds to come with worlds that were and are. Respect
Spirit of life, we offer this humble prayer for all our friends of the animal realm. We ask blessings for those with fangs and claws, fur and tails, gills and wings. Bless those who are beautiful, powerful, and loyal, and also those who are homely, fragile, and timid. We honor our kinship with the gentle and the fierce, the wild and the tame. We ask special blessings for animals that are suffering, for animals that are overworked, underfed, or cruelly treated, for those that are lost or abandoned, frightened, or hungry. We mourn the loss of those who were unable to flee the wildfires that ravaged their homes and food sources. We know the importance of the dogs, cats, birds, hedgehogs, and hamsters who offer comfort and support to the homeless, displaced, and overwhelmed humans in their care. May we remember that all animals, big and small, cute and slimy, are our relatives, our fellow travelers, our friends. May we always treat them with compassion. May we use gentle hands and offer kind words. May we ourselves be true friends to the animals and remember that we are all a part of the great web of life. May it be so.
The annual blessing of the animals is inspired, of course, by the legacy of St. Francis of Assisi, who lived 8 centuries ago. He's the patron saint of animals and ecology. Most of us here don't identify as Catholic, but we still observe this annual day in honor of a Catholic saint. And why is that? I think because we find that legacy aspirational, because it's something we want to emulate in our own actions, to elevate in our communities. St. Francis taught that all of creation, the animals and the earth itself, were the mirror of God. He saw all the animals as his siblings. He gave us the Canticle of the Sun, and that's a poem and hymn that calls together brother sun, sister moon, brother fire, sister water. From European pagans to the native peoples of our continent and all over throughout history, this sense of being close kin to all of creation is a common theme in our ways of knowing. So common, and yet so easily forgotten. This instinct for compassion is born in us. I always think of my close friend's daughter, who was maybe 4 or 5 years old when her parents brought her to my house, and we were in the process of digging a really long trench for a new water main. And this girl spent her entire day rescuing the worms and slugs that we unearthed with the shovel. She'd pick them up and carefully carry them to safety, and she'd cover them with fresh dirt. We all praised her compassion and talked about the kind of tender spirit she had, that this sort of kind adult that she will grow up to be. Today, that girl is a teenager, and without a doubt, she is a kind human, but a rescuer of worms and slugs? Nope. Because as we grow older, we learn that certain forms of compassion are just too much. They're childish or over-sentimental. At least, that's part of what happens. I think there are other reasons why we tamp down our compassion as we grow. I think the deepest forms of compassion become simply too much to bear. when our worldview expands to include awareness of war and famine and refugees huddled under tarps and animals being led into slaughterhouses and children locked in sweatshop factories, we can't hold all of that. So we push some of it aside. We don't lose all of our compassion, but we learn a selective compassion. But how do we choose which ones to set aside? I think this is all very unconscious, but we use a couple of criteria. One, we shut off our thoughts about the forms of suffering that we feel powerless to affect. And two, we close our eyes to the concerns that bring us in direct conflict with our customs or our practices. So we shut off the awareness of those refugees in faraway places whose names we can barely pronounce because we can't do much about it. And we close our eyes to the suffering behind the sweatshop goods and the animal products that line the shelves of every store, because frankly, those products are everywhere. They've all we've ever known, and it can be hard to find alternatives. But a legend like that of St. Francis endures because it stirs that compassion that was born in us. It reawakens what has gone dormant. So we hear that St. Francis ministered to the birds. He freed Brother Rabbit from a trap. We're reminded of our truer selves. Legend has it that when a village was terrified of a wolf that had eaten some of the domestic animals there, Francis went into the woods and befriended the wolf, and he learned that the wolf was simply acting out of hunger. And then Francis brokered a peace agreement of sorts between the village and the wolf. The people of the village would occasionally feed the wolf so he wouldn't go hungry, and in return, the wolf would not harm the people and the animals in the village. History loves a peacemaker, even though so much of our history has been far from peaceful. And humanity loves a compassionate leader, even when we struggle to consistently follow their compassionate lead. At this moment in history, we are reckoning with so much, with our collective history of racial and economic injustice, with the harm we've caused to the environment. We're pushed into a corner of our own making, forced to contend with the harm that we've allowed to happen, the suffering that we've inflicted, actively or passively. And it is a painful reckoning. It requires that we do what we've so instinctively avoided, to see the suffering of our human siblings, Mother Earth, Brother Wolf, Sister Rabbit, without pushing it away when it feels too much. That's hard to do. Where are the peace brokers now at this important moment in history? Where are the compassionate leaders that we can emulate? As far as I know, there is no St. Francis who can befriend the hungry wolf and plead his case to his persecutors, but there are modern equivalents. You will find them if you look. Maybe you are one of them. Some of these leaders take the form of entire organizations. They work to eradicate racism, economic inequality, the exploitation of humans and animals. Some are individuals, people who have devoted their lives to easing suffering and building compassion. And in my life, I am fortunate. I work every day with people who bless animals daily. People trying to broker a peace agreement of sorts, this one on behalf of animals like cougars, shot and poisoned and trapped every day because farmers don't want them to eat their sheep. And here, a peace agreement would not require the people to feed the cougars like the village fed the wolf. Nobody's suggesting that. But if St. Francis was here, I imagine he'd say, it's not the cougars' responsibility to protect the sheep. The people are responsible for protecting the sheep. And if the people will do that, then this war can have a ceasefire. The cougars can simply live. And I've been able to work with people who get out of bed almost every Saturday of the year in every kind of weather. And they drive to an address they've never been to build a free fence for a dog they've never met. This is an Oregon nonprofit called Fences For Fido, and I helped build it a decade ago. And it has now unchained more than 2,000 dogs, all with donated labor, and simply to ease the suffering and the danger that a dog faces when being chained up. And in my role as vice president at Wildwood Farm Sanctuary, I see compassionate people who drive sometimes several times a week round trip from their homes in Vancouver or Portland or Salem to this beautiful corner of the earth, a 100-acre preserve in Newburgh. And they feed and they brush and they medicate and they nurture animals that were rescued from cruelty and neglect. These animals are cows and sheep and chickens and ducks and turkeys and goats. Most came from cases where law enforcement had to intervene, where by the time help arrived, many animals were already dead. Some of the survivors were clinging to life. Others came there relatively healthy, but they came as a result of a farmer or child in 4-H who said, "No more killing. I can't send this being to slaughter." So they arrive at the sanctuary and they are filled with fear, and understandably, they don't trust humans. But pretty soon, with the nurturing and the kindness and the care, they relax. And then they begin to thrive. And then they're free to thrive for the rest of their natural lives in this beautiful home. And even still, it's sometimes too much. There's all this work taking place to ease suffering, and yet there's so much suffering we can't touch. Suffering that's too big or too systemic or too far away for us to do anything. And as difficult as that is, there's always comfort in knowing that we have reduced the sum total of suffering in the world. We've helped where we can, and anyone can do that. We can all bring a little bit of St. Francis into our lives, pausing to think of the most compassionate choice we can make in our daily decisions. Here's something that's a favorite cause of mine, and something nearly every family can do. Seek out humane dog trainers. Find the people who have read the latest behavioral science and studied it, and who know that if your dog is doing a behavior that you don't like, not because she's seeking dominance. She's anxious, she's confused, she doesn't know what you want. Find the trainers who know that teaching a dog never involves punishing, frightening, or hurting them. There's so much cruelty and suffering that comes out of people misunderstanding that these beings are our friends. And they've been our closest companions for hundreds of years. It's time to understand them. As impossible as it seems, we truly can also ease the suffering that takes place even far from our sight. We can learn about the companies that produce our clothing and our other goods and then choose which ones we're going to support. We can invite peace into our homes every day by planning our meals with compassion in mind. We can donate and volunteer to the shelters and sanctuaries that are ministering to the suffering. We can't even move slugs and worms out of harm's way. And it may feel foolish at first, but remember, St. Francis delivered sermons to sparrows. And look at his legacy today. So now I'm reminded of our annual rituals around Christmas when we celebrate the virtues of generosity and kindness, and then sometimes that annual observance inspires us to incorporate more forms of giving and generosity into every day of the year. And perhaps this year, the annual blessing of the animals can inspire a similar contemplation. We do have the ability to bless animals every day, in even the smallest ways. We can embrace compassion and self-restraint, protect wild spaces, clean up the air and water that helps all of us, address the causes of suffering, act as compassionate kin to all of the beings under the sky, and Father Sun, and Sister Moon. May it be so.
Would you join us now for a time of reflection, prayerful reflection, as I share these words that come to us from Salem Unitarian Universalist previous minister, Maureen Killoran. And Maureen writes, "For the blessing of animal companions, we give thanks. For the beautiful ones those whose fur is silky and whose tails are long, whose feathers are brilliant and whose voices are splendid, we give thanks. For the frantic ones, the runts and the hungry, who run for a food bowl or a pat, as though this is life's last possible gift, we give thanks. For the obnoxious ones, the heads that butt against us as we're trying to sleep, the bodies that refuse to learn discretion as they make digestive gifts, we give thanks. For those who bark and purr and growl and mew, for all who squeak or squawk or snarl or hiss, we give thanks. For the animals unknown to us, those whose niche in life's web is fragile, whose lives are insecure, for all who care for them and wish them well, we give thanks. Blessed are the animals. Blessed are the creatures who live with us and need our care. Blessed are the mammals and the reptiles and the birds who teach us that we are not alone. Blessed are all living things from whom we learn to love. Amen. Bless you. Bless you, Iverson.
This is Winnie the Pooch, our rescued small dog, a Chihuahua mix and totally devoted family member. We love her. From Barbara and Bob Muir.
Bless you, Winnie the Pooh. Bless you.
This is our beloved kitty, Maurice, resting up after an intense game of cornhole. Jean St. Pierre and David Harbour.
Bless you, Maurice. Bless you.
This is our poodle, Lucky, who's at least 14 years old. And this is from Jesse and Paul Wilson.
Bless you, Shaylee.
And this is our young Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, Shaylee. They bring us joy every day with their funny antics and unconditional love. Jesse and Paul Wilson.
Bless you again, Shaylee.
Here's a photo of my husband, David Hans, me, and our dog, Porter, and Hans.
Bless you, Porter.
This is our beloved Molly, a 4-year-old calico. Her hobbies include avid bird, squirrel watching, napping on warm laundry, playing and snuggling. For Joseph, she's a first-class therapy cat. In Asian cultures, tricolored cats are considered avatars of great luck and good fortune, as are kink-tailed cats like Molly, which makes her double lucky. Joseph first met Molly when he was a volunteer for Salem Friends of Feline Shelter. Here, Molly poses on the mantle with her portrait, skillfully painted by Sarah's sister, Kathy. Joseph Grammer and Sarah Roars.
Bless you, Molly.
And we'd also like a blessing of fond remembrance for Tanya, our dear Tabby, who passed away in April this year and whom Sarah in particular misses deeply, Joseph Kramer and Sarah Roars.
Bless you, Tanya.
Laramie came to us from the Humane Society while Gloria was performing in the Pentacle production of the Laramie Project. Her name is a living reminder of Matthew Shepard, the young gay man who was left to die on a fence near Laramie, Wyoming. Gloria and Alan Holland.
Bless you, Laramie.
TNT at the park, Tibby and Seidel were the best of frenemies. Though they are no longer with us, their love will always be remembered. Janet Stevens.
Bless you, Tibby and Zeitzel.
This is Tibby at the park. Tibby saved me when I couldn't save myself. Although she is gone, she will always be in my heart. Janet Stevens.
Bless you, Tibby.
Meet Radar and Giotto. We are grateful every single day for the light and love and laughter that these two characters bring into our lives. They keep trying to teach us to be better humans, and we keep trying to learn. From Lisa Liermo and Rudy Yarborough.
Bless you, Radar and Giotto.
And this is also a pic. Oh, this is my Sammy, who passed away at 17. Carrie Lynn Patterson.
Bless you and thank you, Sammy.
This is Diamond, my old lady, Carrie Lynn Patterson.
And bless you too, Diamond.
And this is my newest family member, Falcon, about 5 months, and was a stray. As you can see, he's fed up with politics. He has brought light back into my life. Carrie Lynn Patterson.
And bless you for that, Falcon.
This is Missy practicing the think method from Sarah Pickett.
Bless you and thank you, Missy.
These are pictures of our 2 rescue cats. This one's Boots, an orange tabby, shown here on a snowy day in Virginia. They were loyal and affectionate companions through our move to Oregon and have helped us to thrive during the pandemic by keeping us entertained with their funny ideas and constant reassurance that our companionship is needed and appreciated. They have us well trained. Ann Moore and Tom Ellis.
Bless you, Lady Fig Newton and Boots.
This one's Lady. Okay. This is Bella. For 14 years, Bella has bestowed her love upon us unconditionally. Words cannot describe how deeply we love her. Lorianne Donaldson and Guy Hallman.
Bless you, Bella. Bless you.
This is Queen Jane. We rescued her from death row in San Antonio, Texas, when she was about 4 years old. Jane is the perfect dog. She loves and appreciates us so much and follows me everywhere. Lily Walker and her son, Elijah Rowan.
Bless you, Queen Jane.
This is John D. One night, I dreamed I had a little black kitten, and the next day, Elijah walked in holding John and asked if we could keep him. His birth was foretold, and it turns out we do worship him. He's 4 years old now. Lily Walker.
Bless you, John D.
And this is Penny Bluebell von Barchen, our new puppy. Thanks be for a whole new adventure. Lily and Elijah.
Bless you, Penny Bluebell von Barchen.
This is Sneakers, one of Lily and Reed Cavaletto's cats at their mom's house.
Bless you, Sneakers.
And this is Colby Jack, another one of Lily and Reed Cavaletto's cats.
Bless you, Colby Jack.
And this is Norman, a puffball of cute, Vanessa Barcat and Marilee Watson.
Bless you, Norman.
They are cherished, they mean the world to us, and each has his or her own challenges. The bed photo is of Coco, our oldest, now fighting an illness, Yuki, Yumi, and Miyu. This is how they sleep at night. With gratitude, Francis and Neva.
Bless you, Coco and Yuki and Yuma and Miyu.
And these two are also cherished family members. They mean the world, and each has their own challenges. This is a window photo of Mittens, Mo, Kabocha, which means little pumpkin in Japanese, a special needs cat with a disability, Coco, and Kiki, who is also battling a disease. With gratitude, Francis and Neva.
Bless you, Mittens and Mo, Kaboka, Coco, and Kiki. Bless you all. Bless all you beautiful, wonderful animals that bring so much light and love into our lives. We love you, and we bless you. May we bless you all the days of our lives.
And to Luna, who is not pictured, but really needs a blessing right now because she's lost. May you be safe. May you be comforted. May you find help should you need it. And may you find your way home. Blessed be.
Let's take a moment to be aware of the billions of beings with whom we share this planet. May we be forever grateful for the songs of bird and whale, for the beauty of butterfly and deer, for the power of gorilla and bear, and the playful antics of panda and chimpanzee. May we remember that spider, bee, and ant have an essential role to play, as do rat, raccoon, and vulture. We honor the 99.99% of living creatures who are not human. May we respect and celebrate their role in the web of life. Every time I have the honor of being celebrant here at UUCS, I'm reminded of just how blessed I am, and also how important it is to share those blessings with others. I invite you to join me in support of UUCS and its many ministries and partners. Our Share the Plate partner for October is the microfinance team. The UUCS Microfinance Project makes small loans to people living on the edge so they can increase their earning power, escape poverty, and make a better living for their families. During October, they're excited to auction exquisite hand-woven silk scarves made by Lao weavers from villages which benefited from microloans provided by UUCS and our partner organization in Laos. Bids can be submitted by emailing gstruble@willamette.edu. Your pledges and gifts of support for UUCS can be made to our website, uusalem.org, or through the mail. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. Before we extinguish our chalices, Rick will light the social justice lantern as a symbol of the way the many ministries of this congregation take our light out into the world. The time has come to extinguish our chalices. Their light and warmth are but embers that kindle the fire of our lives. May that fire burn bright, and may you share it with others throughout the coming week.
I'd like to draw your attention to some of the announcements today. And first, please do join us after today's service for the Zoom Fellowship Hour. You can follow the instructions on the website or the screen up there that'll tell you how to get to that. It's going to be at 12 p.m. today, and I hope I'll see you there. I intend to be part of that. I'd also like to draw your attention to other printed announcements that you see. And while I'm doing that, I want to show you this book. It's called Don't Label Me, and we have a number of free copies left. We would love for you to be able to read this before October 25th, when Irshad Manji, the author of this book, what a remarkable woman, the founder of Moral Courage College. She's going to be doing virtually an hour-long question and answer with us. And so if you've had a chance to read her book, then you'll have a chance to pose some questions to her. It's a really good book. It's very timely, and we have a free copy. You can come by on Wednesdays or Thursday evening of next week and the following week between 5 and 7. I'll be here to greet you and give you a free copy. Or if you would like a copy delivered to you, just leave a voicemail at UUCS, and I'll catch it, and we'll see if we can get a book to you that way. So also, love it if you would consider signing up for our World Religions class. Every month you'll have another chance. Last month we had a wonderful gathering and discussed the teachings and philosophy and the inspiration we find in the religion of Hinduism. And this coming month, the last Tuesday of this month, October the 27th, at 6:30, we'll have our class on Buddhism. Should be a very interesting class. Don Wolf, Lily Walker, and I will be facilitating that. So please join us for that. Please pay attention to the announcements that are printed so that you can stay engaged with this congregation during this difficult time. Really appreciate your presence and participation. And I would really like to say how much I appreciate the presence and participation of George Struble. I'm so grateful to you, George. George has been running our first ever organized endowment campaign, and George has some updates for us, and will be sharing those with us from week to week. So, George, what have you got to share with us this week?
I hope you are wrapping your minds around the opportunities to stand with other members in securing our congregation's future. Commitments already made by 15 families. We've made progress over the last week. We've learned of another end-of-life commitment made before this campaign, raising that total to $770,000. To help our members think through their financial planning, John Gear will provide an estate planning workshop for our members, by Zoom, of course. We're thinking a Saturday morning, maybe October 17th, or a weeknight evening near that date. Please tell me if you are interested and what date and time work well for you. John will also give a 50% discount on a simple estate package. John moved with his wife Mary to Olympia, where she is minister of the UU congregation there. Some of this estate planning work will be done by his associate, Teresa Holmstrom, a young mom in Salem. Please think through your own way of helping to secure our congregation's future, and call on me for whatever help I can give. Thank you.
Our closing hymn this morning is Earth Was Given as a Garden. It's number 207 in the gray hymnal.
Earth was given as a garden, cradle for humanity, tree of life and tree of knowledge, placed for our discovery. Here was home for all your creatures, born of land and sky and sea, all created in your image, all to live in harmony. Show to us again the garden where all life flows fresh and free. Gently guide your sons and daughters into full maturity. Teach us how to trust each other, how to use for good our power, how to touch the earth with reverence. Then once more will Eden flower. Bless the earth and all your children, one creation make us whole, interwoven, all connected, planet-wide and inmost soul. Holy Mother, life bestowing, bid our waste and warfare cease. Fill us all with grace o'erflowing. Teach us how to live in peace.
Please join your hearts with family and friends. Join hands or pause with those around you, and let's say our closing words together. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come.